Hi everyone, welcome back to another class of Pronunciation in Use Level Intermediate. We're working on Unit 42, which is another important lesson. It says, was that the question he asked? Or was that the question he asked? So basically what it talks about is where you pause when you're speaking. Hi, someone, welcome. When you pause when you are speaking. So if I say, was that the question he asked, it means he asked this question. Was that the question? It was his question, right? But if I say, was that the question he asked? So it changes the meaning. Now, this is not a very easy example to understand, but as we go through the lesson, you'll look at more simple examples, right? So the whole thing, like the lesson is trying to teach us to read aloud. Do you read aloud when you are learning English? Do you read aloud when you are learning a new vocabulary word? Do you read aloud when you are generally studying English? Well, that's a great habit to form. So try to read aloud, okay? That will definitely help you a lot with your pronunciation, and then also check your pronunciation. So reading aloud is important. It says pronouncing punctuations. And then the next thing you need to know is to pronounce punctuation. Okay, so if there is a period here and there is one sentence here and another sentence here, sentence number 2, this means that you're gonna be stopping here. You're gonna stop here for a few, let's say for a second at least, and then say the second sentence, because there is a period here, and that means you have to pronounce the punctuation. What is punctuation? Punctuation is period, exclamation mark. So there's going to be a pause here, right? Because there is a period. And that makes your speaking more understandable to your listener, right? So if you want to be easier to understand, make sure you pronounce punctuation. You should not read your sentences one after another. For example, I'm going to give you an example. It's right here in the book. Here, just the first part, this part. Okay. So, if I read it like, I can never guess the weather right. If I wear a warm shirt, the weather's hot. So, it was really hard to understand. Yes, let me read that wrong again. I can never guess the weather right. If I wear a warm shirt, the weather's hot. Now, maybe some of you understood it, but the thing is, you made an effort to understand it, and that should not happen. Your listeners should be able to understand you very easily, okay? So, what I mean by that is, you should read it like this. Hi, Mustafa, welcome. Mari says it's not clear. I don't know. It should be, but maybe it's the internet problem. I mean, because it should be good now. What about you, Mustafa? Can you see this okay? And I was giving you an example. For example, here, you shouldn't say, I can never guess the weather right. If I wear a warm shirt, the weather is hot. It's not good, because there are some punctuation here at which you have to pause. There's a dot here. There's a dot here. And then there's a comma here, right? So you should read it like, I can never guess the weather right. If I wear a warm shirt, the weather is hot. So did you see the two pauses that I make? Punctuation. Punctuation is, for example, the way you use the things that you use in your writing. This is punctuation. This is punctuation. This is punctuation. So you have to be careful. When you are reading, you have to pay attention to punctuation. When you see a period, this means you have to stop, right? Or when you see a dot, it means you have to stop. Or kind of comma, question mark. So I'm going to play this for you. Listen to how that reads it. CD6, number 6. Okay.
C6. I can never guess the weather right. If I wear a warm shirt, the weather's hot. If I wear cool clothes, there's a cold wind. When I don't take my umbrella, it rains. If I take my umbrella, does it rain? Of course not. Then I leave it on the bus. Oh well, we all have our weaknesses, I guess.
So when she was speaking, I was able to understand her without even making an effort. So the reason that happened was that she was pronouncing the punctuation as well. When she saw a period, she stopped. When she saw a comma, she stopped. When she saw question mark, she made pauses. And her intonation was going up and down the right way. So yeah, listen to her again.
I can never guess the weather right. If I wear a warm shirt, the weather's hot.
I can never guess the weather right. You pause here. If I wear a warm shirt, the weather's hot. A little pause for the comma, but not as much as the period, right?
If I wear cool clothes, there's a cold wind. When I don't take my umbrella, it rains. If I take my umbrella, does it rain? Oh.
If I take my umbrella, does it rain? There's a little pause with the rising intonation, because it's of course, does it rain?
Of course not. Then I leave it on the bus. Oh well, we all have our weaknesses, I guess.
And then finally she says, oh well, we all have our weaknesses, I guess. So this lesson is all about teaching you how to make a pause in the middle of your speech. And it's not hard, you just have to be aware of that and pay attention to punctuation, right? So, inversion. No, this is not inversion. This is not inversion. Inversion is a grammar note. It's grammar, okay? That's inversion. But here we're talking about pausing. It says there's an important note here. It says reading aloud is good. So reading aloud is good pronunciation practice. Don't forget to pronounce the punctuation. So when you are studying English, try to read aloud. Okay? Don't just read it in your mind. Try to read it out loud. In part 7, it says pauses can change the meaning of what we say. Listen to these pairs of sentences and note the difference in pronunciation. So here you have 2 sentences, right? And then you have another 2, so you have 3 pairs of sentences. So people are saying they don't see, I think. So let me try to zoom in a bit. Maybe that helps. So yeah. Here you have 1 pair, pair number 2, and pair number 3. Yeah, I didn't pay attention like where in the text that was, but inversion is like when you start with a preposition, on the wall is a beautiful painting. So this is an inversion because it has to be a beautiful painting is on the wall, right? But you say is a beautiful painting, you inverse it. So actually you're doing some inversion there because you're starting with a preposition. So Now listen to these two pairs. It's interesting. Listen to number 1.
C7. A.
It was cold outside. There was snow on the ground.
It was cold outside. There was snow on the ground. So you see the pauses after outside. Now listen to this one.
B.
It was cold. Outside, there was snow on the ground.
It was cold. Outside, there was snow on the ground. You see a little pause here. So this one is a little different. It says it was cold outside. Maybe inside it was not that cold. But this one generally says it was cold. Outside, there was snow on the ground. Yes? So this is a little different because your pause is here. You have a capital O. You have a period here. You stop there, right? There's no A and B, Nahid, because the city is actually reading both of them. Listen again.
There was snow on the ground. It was cold outside. There was snow on the ground.
B.
It was cold. Outside, there was snow on the ground.
A.
Was that the question he asked?
Was that the question he asked? Or he asked? So there is no pause here. Was that the question he asked? It means was that the question he asked? اون سوالی بود که اون پرسید. Was that the question he asked? But look at this one. Was that the question he asked? There's a little pause here. There's a little pause here. Because this means he asked exactly this question. دقیقا این سوال پرسیده. او پرسید این question. Was that the question he asked? Listen.
Outside, there was snow on the ground.
Hi, Element.
A.
Was that the question he asked?
B.
Was that the question he asked?
Was that the question he asked? So, you see the second one has a totally different meaning. Was that the question he asked? It means he asked this question. But this one, it says, was that the question he asked? It means the question that he asked. Here you have a that. The question that he asked. Was that the question that he asked? Was that the question that he asked? So, now let's move on to number 3, which is the last one here. Listen and try to understand where the slash mark is, where we pause.
A.
I got up, quickly got dressed, and went downstairs.
B.
I got up quickly, got dressed, and went downstairs.
So here also the difference in meaning is noticeable, right? It says I got up, quickly got dressed. So here quickly is for got dressed. Because we stop here, you make a pause here, right? I got up, you have a comma here actually. You have another comma here. I got up, quickly got dressed, and went downstairs. You can also put the comma here. So you say, I got up quickly. So quickly is here, it's for got up. I got up quickly, got dressed, and went downstairs. Then there's another comma here. So now that you have listened to these examples, you know that pausing is important. A lot of people are stressed out about how they pronounce words, but nobody's really stressed out about how well they make the pauses, right? Because they say, oh, okay, so it's easy, I just don't say anything. But the problem is a lot of people do not make that pause. You know what I mean? A lot of people do not make that pause. And that makes their speech hard to understand. With that said, I think we can move on to the next part, it says we need to use pauses to give us time. Let me read that for you. This is very important. I'll translate it for you. We need to use pauses to give us time to think and to give the listener time to take in the information. So it says مجبوریم یه مکسایی بکنیم وقتی داریم صحبت میکنیم. Why? To give us time to think. که وقت داشته باشیم فکر کنیم. هم خودمون میخوایم حرف بزنیم. And also to give the listener the time to take in the information. هم به اون شنونده این وقت بدیم که درک کنه، بگیره این information رو take in کنه. Listen to this address and note that there are pauses where there are line breaks, where there are gaps in the telephone numbers. It says, look at this address. Here we have pauses. Let me see what's happening here. Here we have pauses. When we have some gap between the lines, when the line breaks, we have pauses. You should not read it like Linda Wharton, 29 Bolton Road, Wigan. No, you have to pause. Also here you have to pause. Linda Wharton, 29 Bolton Road, Wigan. And then you keep reading it, okay? Yeah, the picture is crazy. Is it better now? Let me see if I can play this. Okay, is that better now? Because I think I just moved my camera a little bit.
C8.
Okay, so my name is Linda Wharton. That's Wharton, Wharton, 29 Bolton Road, Wigan, Lancashire, WI16 9FT, England, and my telephone number is 090 827 7365, and email Linwar, that's LINWAR, at Applegroove, that's APPLE, Groove, GROOVE.com.
Okay, so let's go over that again and see how perfectly he made the pauses.
Okay, so my name is Linda Wharton. That's
My name is Linda Wharton. So there's a little stop here. Doesn't say Linda Wharton. It says Linda Wharton.
Wharton. That's Wharton.
That's Wharton. So he wants to spell it. It says that's, and then he spells it. I think. Listen.
That's Wharton. WHARTON.
Hey everyone, welcome. WHARTON. So look at this. It's very important to spell your last name or first name. If you think that is not common, it's a good idea to spell it. So now let's continue.
29 Bolton Road, Wigan, Lancashire.
Wigan, Lancashire. Look at the pauses he's making when he's going from one line to the next line. He's making those pauses. Elements is that's uses for spell all letters in word. Yeah, when you want to spell it. For example, say my name is or you can say I'm Arash Rahmati, and then when you want, maybe Rahmati is not easy for them to write, say that's RAHAMTI. So you say that and then you spell it.
29 Bolton Road, Wigan, Lancashire, WI16 9FT.
So WI16, there's a little pause. WI16 9FT.
England. And my telephone number is 090 827 7365.
Again, you have to make two pauses whenever you're saying your phone number. My telephone number is 090 pause 827 pause 7365. You could also read it 2 by 2.
827 7365.
It's common to read it singly, 7365. So I was just talking about the pauses you have to make here. In the email address, he's going to use that's a lot to actually spell this part, and also to spell this part. He's going to spell it using the word that's.
And email Linwar, that's LINWAR, at Applegroove, that's APPLE, Groove, GROOVE.com.
C9.
Good. So let's see. Yeah, that was what we had. I think if there is anything else, let me check it. Let me read this for you. It says, practice saying the spelling of your own name. So use your own name, whatever your name is. Try to say it and then spell your last name, your first name. Make sure you make the pauses so your listener is able to very easily grasp your words or get your words. Decide how you will group the letters if your name is long. So my name is not long, it's not really hard, but it depends on your name. Try to do it. For example, I'm Arash Rahmati. That's ARASH. A little pause for my last name. RAHAMTI. So I make the pause. So this way I actually sound more natural, and I sound easier, much easier to understand. And that's really important. So let's go to the exercise. The exercise says, try to read this, record your voice, and then listen to the CD and check it. So you have to be really careful as it gets to the punctuations. You have to pause. And for Friday, well, another wintry day in all parts of the region. Temperatures near freezing in many places, and along the coast, the wind will make it feel very cold indeed. So did you see how I made the pauses at the dots? Actually, the periods that we have, the commas. So that really helps. That really helps. So let's listen. This is a weather forecast. The man is talking about the weather. Like, for example, in Tehran, it's going to be rainy tomorrow. In Yazd, it's going to be hot. This is weather forecast. You can watch it on news channel, right? So let's listen.
And for Friday, well, another wintry day in all parts. And for Friday, well, another wintry day in all parts of the region. Temperatures near freezing in many places, and along the coast, the wind will make it feel very cold indeed. Inland, some snow on the hills, and there may be fog in the valleys. If you're out and about driving, watch out for those icy roads. And for the weekend? Well, we're not expecting much change, I'm afraid. And that's all from me. Good night.
He was actually in a hurry. He said, that's all from me. Good night. So yeah, did you see how he made the pauses and how those pauses made you easier? I mean, made your job of understanding him much easier. So you didn't have to really process a lot of information at a time, because information was coming to you at a normal pace and not too fast. and then you are able to get that information easily. Here it says listen and say. You have to actually say where is the slash. They're leaving. Soon it will be quieter. So the first one has the answer, right? So I'm gonna call this A, and I'm gonna call this B. So number one, the slash is before the underlined word. So I say it's A because the slash is before the underlined word. Now let's listen.
C10.
Element says, let me answer this question. How can we make the pause in speaking when we don't know where they are? I meant when we don't have any pattern to follow like this. Okay, cool. So you actually need to know, for example, one of them is conditional sentences. If you are saying a conditional sentence starting with if, you need to make a pause in the middle. If I had money, I would do that. I would do this. So in conditional sentences, you have to practice them, and whenever there is a conditional sentence, your brain has to signal your mouth that there might be a pause ahead. That's one of them, conditional sentence. Another thing is very simple. The most important pause you need to make is the pause you need to make after a sentence is finished, right? So make sure you make at least a 1 second pause after your sentence if you really want to be understandable. Yes? So after your sentences, and if there is a comma or if there is a conditional sentence, and if you try to feel what you're saying as I'm saying it to you, when you feel what you're saying, it's not really hard to make the pause. When you're just saying to say, then it becomes hard to understand. So also try to feel what you're saying. Imagine you're saying that to your parents, to your brother, sister, somebody, the way you speak your native language. You don't just speak it. There are some pauses. Hi Nestor and welcome. So let's go to part 2, number 1. So number 1 is A or B? You tell me. Let's listen.
Example.
They're leaving. Soon it'll be quieter.
1.
There was nothing inside. It was empty.
You're welcome, Element. There was nothing inside. It was empty. So where is the pause? Is it A or is it B? A is here. B is after that. So there was nothing inside. It was empty. So is it A or is it B? Want to listen again?
There was nothing inside. It was empty.
1.
There was nothing inside. It was empty.
Very good, Saman. It's B. There was nothing inside. That the sentence stops there for a second. It was empty. Right? It's B. Good, Saman. Element, it's not A because the pause is after inside. Listen again.
There was nothing inside. It was empty.
There was nothing inside. It was empty. So the pause is here. It's B. It's not A. There was nothing inside. It was empty. Now this is not necessarily correct. I mean, you can put the pause here, but sometimes it makes a difference in meaning. So when you say there was nothing, you don't know where, inside, outside. And when you say it was inside, it was empty, this means the house was empty, or the inside of the house was empty. So it makes a difference, but it's not wrong depending on what you want to say. So now, yeah, it's after. Oh, sorry. So you got it like after before? No, this is my this is my notation. A is here, B is here. So it's after, this is B. A is here. Yeah, so good. So you meant after. Okay, so let's follow that. Sorry, let's follow that. Is it after or is it before? You can just write after or before. So for inside, it was after inside. Let's go to number 2.
2.
We walked carefully downstairs. It was dark.
3.
Carefully downstairs. It was dark.
So is it before downstairs or is it after downstairs?
Downstairs.
2.
We walked carefully downstairs. It was dark.
3.
We walked carefully downstairs. It was dark. So is it after downstairs or is it before downstairs? Yes, good someone. It's after downstairs. After downstairs. Element good. Mustafa good.
3.
I watched him. Silently he opened the drawer.
4.
I watched him. Silently he opened the drawer.
So what do you think? I watched him. Silently he opened the drawer. That was brilliant. So yeah, that was hard. Drawer. Good element. That's actually before that, right? That's before that. And remember that it does make a difference when you pause here or when you pause before that. So here, listen again.
I watched him. Silently he opened the drawer.
So it means he opened the drawer. Silently is for open. It means he silently did it. Maybe there was something secret in the drawer. But if the speaker put the pause here, I watched him silently, he opened the drawer, then this silently goes for watch. So this little difference here, like when you want to make the pause, it makes a little difference in meaning as well, right? So anyway, it's before in this example, before the word.
4.
The rain didn't stop the next day. It just carried on.
Yeah, good element. The adverb goes for like a different verb. So it says the rain.
Day. The rain didn't stop the next day. It just carried on.
The rain didn't stop the next day. It just carried on. And the next one.
5.
The weather was hot. At the weekend it was 40 degrees.
5.
The weather was hot. At the weekend it was 40 degrees.
Yes, it's after the next day. The rain didn't stop the next day. It just carried on. It just carried on. Just carried on. What about at the weekend, the next one? Listen to number 5.
5.
The weather was hot. At the weekend it was 40 degrees.
The weather was hot. At the weekend it was 40 degrees. So at the weekend is for this part now. 40 degrees is for at the weekend. Yes, it's after. It's after hot, it's before at the weekend.
6.
I saw her clearly. She was hungry.
I saw her clearly. She was hungry.
Degrees.
6.
I saw her clearly. She was hungry.
Yes, good someone. At the weekend, it's before at the weekend. The weather was hot. There's a little pause. At the weekend, it was 40 degrees. I saw her clearly. She was hungry. What about this one? Where does the pause fall? Here, it's not before. This one, it's good, after. After clearly. It's after clearly.
I saw her clearly. She was hungry.
7,
It was cold. Last night the roads were icy.
It was cold. Last night the roads were icy. Listen how pronunciation helps you here. They are actually linked. You don't say the roads were icy. You say were icy. The roads were icy. Listen again.
7,
It was cold. Last night the roads were icy.
The roads were icy. So exactly, it's before. Elements is before. As someone says last night. Yeah, it's before last night. Exactly. Good someone. Good element. So it was cold. Last night the roads were icy. Were icy. Were icy. Okay. So let's see if there is anything left. It says listen and write the names and contact details that you hear. So let's see what is the man's name.
C11,
My name's Martin Britton. That's Britton. And the address is Flat 6, 98 Carlow Road. That's Carlowe Road, Middleton. Postcode DG16H39. My telephone number is 691-2281. That's 691-2281. And my email address is mbrit, that's mbrit, at jetcom, that's jetcom.uk.
So all that information was understandable because the speaker knew where to pause and how to change his intonation. With that said, we are now able to understand what the speaker said. I'm trying to write it. The speaker is also considerate enough to spell his last name because it's not easy for everybody to spell it. So let's listen to that again.
That's My name's Martin Britton. That's BRI.
My name is Martin Britton. So let me just write it here. My name is Martin. So I guess this way. Britton. Let's see if he spells that.
That's BRI.
B-R-I.
Britton. That's BRITTON.
Double T-O-N. Double T-O-N. Okay.
My name's Martin Britton. That's BRITTON. And the address is Flat 6, 98 Carlow Road. That's CARLOWE Road, Middleton. Postcode DG16H39. My telephone number is
So let's write the telephone.
691. My telephone number is 691-2281.
6192281, I guess. That's what I heard. Listen again.
H39. My telephone number is 691-2281.
Oh, sorry. 691. 6. Yes, good element. 691. Good element. 691. I wrote 619. 2281 with the little pauses that we make in the middle. Okay. What about the postcode? Did you hear the postcode? Listen again for the postcode.
G16 postcode WE Road, Middleton, postcode DG16H39. Postcode Middleton, postcode DG16H39. My postcode DG16H39. Postcode DG16H39.
DG postcode DG16. Thank you, Element, for helping me. DG16H39. Okay, that's gonna be the postcode. Let's check it.
Postcode DG16H39. My telephone number is 691-2281. That's 691-2281. And my email address is mbrit, that's mbrit, at jetcom, that's jetcom.uk.
.uk. So there is a .uk here, and we have the at. So we just have to fill in the blanks here, right? Let's listen again.
mbrit at jetcom, that's 691-2281. And my email address is mbrit, that's mbrit, at jetcom, that's jetcom.uk.
What? Embrit?
IT, and my email address is mbrit, that's mbrit, at jetcom.
MBRIT. That's MBRIT. MBRIT.
mbrit.
Yeah, Element. The reason, Element, you don't hear R is because he's British and he says oh, something like it's hard for me to get as well, but I get it. He said MBIT, like RT.
mbrit at jetcom, that's jetcom.uk.
Very good, Element. Thank you. Jetcom, yes. Someone very good. Jetcom. Listen again.
That's jetcom.uk.
Yeah, JET. So JET. Hi Puyal. Welcome, welcome. I'm happy to see you here. JET. COM. Element, good. Very good. So we just need to write the address. So let's listen to that.
RLOWE Rooks 98 Carlo, and the address is flat 6.
Flat 6. Flat means apartment in Britain. British English. Flat 6. Okay.
98 Carlo Road.
98 something road. I didn't get that. So probably he's going to spell it.
98 Carlo Road. That's CARLOWE Road.
Oh, C-O. That's what? Listen again.
LOWE Road. RLCAR.
C-A-R. C-A-R.
LOWE Road.
L-O-W-E. 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 L-O-W-E, right? Yeah, Mustafa, let me...
ARCARL.
No, C-A-R. C-A-R.
Carlowe Road.
Yes, and you have road. The last part.
Middleton, postcode DG16H39. My telephone, postcode DGWE Road, Middleton.
Middleton? What is that? Can you spell it for me? Listen again.
RLOWE Road, Middleton.
I hear something like Middletown. What is ton? Middleton? Maybe that's the name. Listen again.
RLOWE Road, Middleton. Postcode DG16 Road, Middleton.
So let me see if I can check that out for you. Maybe that's special name. Maybe that's something we can check out. Unit 42. Let's see. 42. So 42, I think the answers are here. 42. Model 10, Reza says. Okay, let's check that. That was close. Middleton. I heard middle, but it's like Middleton. So that's the one we were looking for. Middleton. Okay, thank you everyone. So let me see. I think we're pretty much finished with this lesson. I just need to go back up and see. I think we're finished, but let's check that out. We did this part. Yeah, we're finished. It says try to practice more by talking to yourself and say it for yourself. My name is this, my address is this, my postcode is this. And remember, today's lesson was all about making the pauses, right? They definitely make you sound more natural and more understandable, which is great, which is a great thing to happen. So say your own name, address, and contact details, and record it if it's possible, and then listen to it. See if you made the right pauses. So let me stop this.